Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 14 of the troll video and the very last part in the series. In this video we're going to learn how to sculpt his face. So by the time you're done you should be able to give him different looks. All different styles of faces that you can give your troll. And we're also going to add some eyebrows. And I'm going to show you how to add some color if you want to do that as well. So for the color I'm using blush and a Q-tip. And for sculpting his face I'm going to use my blunt end yarn needle. And the same colored yarn that you use to make your troll with, and also some black, and maybe a little bit of red if you want to. Alright, let's get started. So now we can play around with his mouth a little bit. It depends on the look you're going for. This guy looks kind of grouchy, and you can totally do all sorts of different looks. I'm going to show you how to manipulate this face with a strand of yarn. I'm going to go in through the back, right to the back of his neck. And I'm going to come up right on the corner of his mouth. And I'm going to pull that through. I'm going to pull one yarn tail through and leave the other one hanging in the back. Okay, just leave it hanging for now. So now if you want to make an indent, give him more of an indent in his mouth, I'm just going to go over on the other corner. And I'm going to bring this yarn tail out one stitch over from where I went in. Okay, carry that through. And then you can pull. See that? And you can manipulate it with your other hand. Pull it. And you know what? I'm going to keep that right there. So I'm going to knot these off to hold that shape. Oh yeah. Okay, and I'm going to knot again. Now I'm going to bring one of these yarn tails back. Now if it's too short, don't worry, just bring in another yarn tail. Just carry in another yarn tail. But I'm going to use the same one because it's long enough. And I'm going to come up right out through his corner again, corner of his mouth. And I'm going to pinch. And I'm going to pinch together. I'm going to bring this up through top of his lip. I'm going to go over one stitch post and back down and through, right through. And I'm going to go back up one stitch post over and see what we can get here. See, this guy here, I pulled it really tight, and I did what I just showed you all the way across. So I did it here and I skipped this section. You can see he's got a little bit of a shape there, kind of like a snarl. And then I moved over, brought the yarn tail underneath and through, and then pinched this, sewed here, sewed here, sewed here, and I think that's it. And then you just knot it off in the back to hide the yarn tail. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. But I want to give him more of a funny face, so I got that part the way I want it. I'm going to carry this over underneath, carrying it through. I just want to bring it to the other side. Is it right there? I have to go over one more. Now I'm going to pinch this. I'm going to go over a stitch and then down. You see what I'm doing to him? I'm going to go over a stitch post and back up again and see what I get. He's even going to end up with dimples. Okay, now I'm going to bring this away from that area. And I'm going to bring it to the back. And I'm going to knot off. And I'm not done yet, but I'm going to knot off this yarn tail just to hold everything. There we go. You can play around with it. Alright, so I just threaded a piece of black yarn, and now I'm going to go, I can do this at the bottom or at the top, it doesn't matter where I come in. Let's just go through the very back to start with. And I want to give him a smiling face. And I'm going to go to the other corner, and I'm just going to come out through the back of the head. I just want to adjust things here. Okay, now I'm going to go back in through where I just came out of, through the same stitch hole that I just came out of, and right out through the middle of his mouth. Now I'm going to go back in, but I'm going to wrap around that yarn strand and then come out through the back of the head. I think that's good for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knot these two off. So I'm going to bring the one yarn tail in and then out where the other one is. I want to knot them off, and then I'm going to thread them both and carry them away. So I'm going to go back in where that knot is and just carry it away somewhere else, just so we don't see it in the back of the head. Now I can pull on it slightly and cut. Now you don't see anywhere where we went in. Now that yarn has disappeared, and we have a bit of a smile we can work with. Okay, so I want to show you something. This guy, I did the exact same thing to him. I didn't bring the black as far over in the corners, a little bit closer in, so he has a different look to his face. And then you can see the very top of his lips. I added some more stitches in there. What did I do with this guy? He's just left the way it is. The only thing I did here is just add that black strand of yarn. And that's how his face looks. So you can totally leave it, it's up to you. But if you want to sculpt his face a little bit more, you can do that. And I want to show you how, so you're not stuck with just one face. Okay, I'm going to bring a strand of yarn through the back again. And I'm going to come up where I want to shape the top of his lip. So I'm going to squeeze that, pinch it. And then I'm going to hold that pinch together with my yarn, just like I showed you how to do in the other pieces. Pull a strand through, pinch it, going down, and now I'm going to come up. I'm just winging this, guys, as I go along. I kind of see a look in my mind, so I'm hoping to get that look. Holding that pinch, I'm going to go up. And then back down, and I'll see what I got here. Okay, now let's see if we can do the bottom too. So I'm going to go in and behind that black yarn. Come down on the bottom. And I'm going to pinch the bottom lip and do the same thing. So if you made a few of these trolls, you can give them all different faces. I think it's fun to have a different look. I think I could leave it there. I'll just carry this out now, anywhere, just to get rid of it. Okay, I'm going to knot this off. And then carry it anywhere and cut it free. So he's got an open mouth there. You could do some different things with that, but I'm going to just bring in a strand of red yarn. I haven't done this with the other guys. I want to give him a little bit of color right here. Just a little bit of color. Now I'm going to knot these off and then hide the yarn tails inside the head like I showed you how to do with the other ones. Alright guys, now if you want to add an eyebrow or two, you can totally do that as well. What I've done here is actually pull my yarn through, but instead of pulling one strand through like I normally do, I just pulled it through and I'm using two strands at once this way. Okay, so I've already done one eyebrow. I'm going to go back into the same stitch I just came out of, and I'm going to go where I want the top of the eyebrow to go, or the bottom, doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to pull it through. See, I'm pulling 2 strands through at once. Just saves me a little bit of time because I actually want to give him a thicker eyebrow. So instead of going and wrapping twice, I'm just going to do it once with 2 strands. Okay, and you can play around with this again. You don't have to do a simple one like this. You can make it as fancy as you want to. Alright guys, I'm just about to finish up, but I decided I wanted to do a little bit more to his face, so I want to show it because I know people are going to ask how I did it. So I'm just going to bring in I'm going to give him 2 dimples here. So I just gave him one, so I'm going to go over and do the other one now. Bringing my yarn tail right where I want that dimple to go. I'm going to come through, bring it over a stitch post so it has something to hang on to, and go back down and out through the back of the head. Let's see what we can get here. Yeah, that's cute. Cute little guy. Of course, all these things are optional, guys. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just giving you different ideas. I want you to have fun with it and know that you can do whatever you want. Alright, now I am done. I can knot this off anywhere close by. Go through that loop, pull it tight, and I'm just going to get rid of my yarn tails. Okay, just hiding my yarn tails. Now you see where we first did that big indent where I pulled really tight and I made a little hole back here. So if you have a bald troll and you want to cover that hole, just wrap around it with your yarn just to cover it up. I don't need to because I got hair here, but see, I just filled that hole in. Now I'll carry this away. Pretty much a solution for everything when you're playing around with yarn. And you can see this guy's got a little bit of color added inside his ears. I'm going to show you how to do that. And of course you can always skip this part. You don't have to add color if you don't want to. This is just regular blush, and I'm not choosing any particular color. It's just like a pinkish color, I guess. And I'm just going to lightly rub it on a Q-tip. Now the thing about doing this is you have to start off light and work yourself up into a darker color. You don't want to go in dark and then you're disappointed with the color, because you can work with light, but adding too much dark, it's hard to tone it down after. So just go in lightly and see if you want to add more after that. So see, I'm just rubbing it in there. I was just thinking I should probably do a little headband for him. Of course, this is a reference to Willie Nelson if you haven't picked it up already. And no offense to any fans out there, because I actually am one of his biggest fans. I love Willie Nelson. I actually wanted to marry him when I was 4. And then I grew up and I realized I don't want to marry him, I just want to listen to his music, but I'm still a huge fan. Yeah, I might make him a little headband. Anyway guys, there is the sculpting of his face done, and like I said, you can definitely play around with that like I showed you, and hopefully you have lots of fun. And I added some blush to his cheeks as well. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the Trolls series. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I hope you had fun. I had so much fun showing you how I made my trolls, and I really can't wait to see what you guys do with this pattern. And when you do make yourself a troll, or a few of them, I would love to see pictures. You got to post pictures on my Facebook page, Amigurumi Freely. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.